Since 2008, AgriProFocus has been improving gender equality in agriculture chain development as it believes it will contribute to increased economic development. For too long, the role of women has been under-recognized, even though they play a significant role in production, processing, and trading. This inequality is one of the main causes why their businesses are less successful, and this inefficiency has a negative effect on the value chain as a whole. Addressing gender issues in value chains, or mainstreaming, will make them stronger and will help reduce poverty. To address this, AgriProFocus each year organizes a gender in value chain trajectory over a period of 9 months. Ugandan professionals working in value chains are coached with the aim to increase the capacities of their organizations and to put in place a value chain development plan that is gender inclusive. Each participant gets 3 days of individual case-based coaching over a 9-month period. Events, workshops and excursions are organized to create common ground and introduce concepts, tools and experiences which can be used for gender-inclusive value chain development, which address the constraints in the value chains.
You take the constraint, you look at what are the consequences of this constraint, what are the causes, and then the causes help you plan your intervention.
The gender constraint that came up was the inability of women to own and control resources. Then two, an equal distribution of gender roles.
For the women, at the point of sharing money, at that point, it leads to gender-based violence. Yeah. Now that we have the ladies losing the morale and withdrawing, so we are losing some actors in the value chain. And we looked at ladies being the ones that manage the quality mainly. And so now that they are not encouraged by the benefits they get from their production, the quality and the quantity will reduce.
Every little money they get, men come in and then they say, I want them. So at the end of that day, women are overworked, they don't benefit anything, no income earned.
So step number 1, we introduce ourselves. Step number 2, we start to collect the information by dividing. So we have vine producers and root producers. Those will be 2, and then those groups, again, we subdivide into male and female. Yes. Right? And then once we've got that information, we bring everybody back together and have a look at the information, because that's going to be quite interesting to see from male perspective and female perspective and from root and vine producers.
How are you? I'm Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Like in their group, they specifically specialize in growing sweet potatoes. That is their value chain that they are dealing in.
Nzibina chaffe ng'ovudde ku bitukola. Waawo tukola chapati ezo, tukola chips mu lumonde. Tufuna ssente mu mbeera eyo.
Mmwe ng'abakyala n'abaami ani akola ekinene?
Manya percentage. Naye twandigabyeko 3 ku 100. Ensanvu eba ya mukyala.
What happened in the group, we did focus group discussions. We had a discussion for men, women, and youth. I was in the discussion for women. We did an analysis of what happens, the activities, then who controls resources. Then we finally tried to further analyze the percentage of each one's contribution. We found out that generally over 70% is done by women, but when it comes to sharing, women get 20% on average out of what they get, and they finally have to reinvest this into their family. So they end up with nothing on their own.
A key resource used throughout the trajectory is the book Challenging Chains to Change. The book collects more than 100 case studies into a resource book for practitioners, and it brings together the 2 fields of gender and value chains. Besides that, there is a gender toolkit that provides tools to support data collection, to guide and facilitate male and female value chain actors, and tools how to combine a variety of interventions. The publications are used consistently in the interaction between coaches and coachees.
As a coach, I spend about 2 hours with a coachee on whatever it is, the topic it is they want to talk about. And through that, we go through a process.
A pool of coaches is developed by AgriProFocus, who combine gender and value chain expertise. National coaches are being trained, getting assistance of experts and peers.
When are you suggesting us to meet? Okay, fine.
Coaching implies that the coachee is really in the driver's seat. The coach is just there to support and to help the coachee find his own solutions. It is really on the job, practical, and people really have to face it and put into practice what they have learned.
So you begin by identifying, and somehow, as you've described it, you let people take ownership. So understand for themselves what works well, what could work even better, what have we already tried, and to assimilate that learning. And that I hear you saying when you say let them have some time to absorb this new method, new way, and to understand how it can benefit them.
I want that these women start getting established relationships with buyers, such that they build trust with them. As they work on their quality, the buyer also tries to appreciate this to a level that we come to having signed memoranda of understanding.
Wow.
Such that if at some point it has worked out well, it will be like these are growers for a certain buyer.
And then they'll come back again.
Exactly.
A gender-sensitive value chain approach increases visibility of the women's roles. That can, however, only work when also the men are fully aware of the positive impact that a gender-friendly approach has on the value chain. The toolkit of AgriProFocus helps them in that process.
One of the things I appreciate about the tool is that it is dynamic. It collects a data. You can modify it in some way to collect the data that you want. I used to think I knew gender, but I think I learned during this workshop that I did not know it well, or the knowledge that I had was distorted a bit, or it was confused a bit with the culture. I learned the gender constraints, which is especially in the value chain that we are in. This is oilseed value chain. So what am I going to do better when I get back to where I work? I will integrate gender issues. I will design interventions which is gender sensitive, which takes into consideration men and women working on their roles. I will also target coordinated actions. I think when we went to Mukono, one of the things we found was men and women are working together, but also they're working towards the market and they know the buyers. This is a lesson for me. This is something I can take back.
Ban watoro chiwa bino beru ping one group chiwa neno ni ene romo fure chara matechego ikin wakany machar ikin pachi wakany.
There is something that we learned today. It's called participatory market research. It requires you to make a research team, and then you start looking at where could be the possible market for our honey. We want to leave you in very high spirits, ready to go and work, get more honey and be willing to sell it.
Don't need now to say women or men. We say together we go.